Hey there, so I am visiting Fukuoka, Japan for a few weeks. My friend is here taking a Japanese language course, so I thought I'd come visit. And this is the view outside of my Airbnb, where I'm by Umebayashi Station, which is just over here, where that overpass is. So it's a very short walk from there to this mountain, theoretically, but it took me a few tries to figure out how to get there. But once you know, it's actually really easy. It's really easy to get to this mountain. It's a really fun hike, and you can get to this beautiful observation deck. And it's been my favorite thing that I've done while I'm here in Fukuoka. It's only like an hour-long hike. And I'm going to walk you through it. I'm going to walk you through how to get from Umebayashi Station to a sweet mountain path and up through these mountains. Aren't the mountains crazy in Japan? Like, they really look different. I'm from Canada, and just the way that they're coated in trees. And it's like that when you're up there. It's like you're in the forest, but you're on a mountain. It's awesome. Anyway, let's get started. Okay, we start at Umebayashi Station, which you go to Tenjin Minami Station, and then you go 10 or 11 stops. It's like 300 yen. And where we're trying to get to is the Aburayama Katae observation deck. In case you want to look it up, that's what it's called. So we leave Umebayashi Station from exit number 2, and then you turn right. And then you take a right at the very next little road. Like, you'll see traffic lights in the distance. You don't need that. You turn right away, right where the place is where people park their bicycles. And you'll see a 7-Eleven sign in the distance. So you walk a couple of minutes down this road straight to that 7-Eleven. I'd recommend stopping at this 7-Eleven and gearing up. My recommendation would be 2 bottles of water and some crunky. You know, I like to get crunky. It's just like a little bit of sugar energy halfway up the mountain. So after the 7-Eleven, you head east from there. So left if you're facing the 7-Eleven, right if you've just exited the 7-Eleven. And then we walk down this street just until we get to the lights. So alternatively, when you first left the subway, you could have just walked to those lights and taken a right and gotten here either way. But I highly recommend the 7-Eleven. You know, stop in, treat yourself, buy some stuff. Get some water. Cross the intersection and turn right. So we're heading south down this little street. But just a short little ways to the first intersection where you turn left. So we're heading east again. And really, that's it. That's the hard part of this journey. And, you know, obviously it's not hard at all. It's extremely easy. You just gotta know how to get there. It took me a couple of tries because down this road, you get to the stairs, and the stairs take you straight up to the path. And then the path itself is also very straightforward until right at the end. Right at the end, there's a little part that's a little tricky to get to the observation deck. But that's about it. You just, take these couple little turns, get to these stairs, and these stairs, I think, are the worst part. You know, like, this is a really cool mountain little trail. It's really fun. I'm not like a experienced hiker, but I really like it because there's just, you know, a little bit of climbing and then flat parts and then maybe some parts that go down and a little more climbing. And, you know, it's in nature, it's all cool and stuff. Whereas these steps are just a son of a bitch, man. They're just really long steps. I literally stop halfway up these steps and just do a slow, like, 10 count. Breathe in and out 10 times. Because I'm not ready yet. I'm not acclimated to climbing, and it's just straight up, man. It's no fun. It really sucks. So yeah, these steps are gonna suck, especially if you're an out of shape idiot like me. But it's worth it, man. So climb these stairs. And then we get to the beginning of the real hiking trail. Here's the beginning of the path. So there's this little area where you can take a little seat. You could walk back down some other stairs on the other side, but you want to turn to the right here and start going up this trail. And then really that's it. Like, getting to those stairs, that's the slightly tricky part, you know, just getting from the station to the stairs. It's not tough, but, you know, that's where you could get lost. Once you're on this trail, it's basically just a straight trail. the whole way up until the very end. At the very end, you got to take one turn to get to the observation deck, but there's like paved road at the place where you got to make the turn, so you definitely won't miss it. So this path is mostly covered. It's like covered over in trees because there's so many trees and they're so dense on this mountain. So it's kind of weird because you are walking up a mountain, you know, up the ridge of a mountain, and you end up getting pretty high up. But it kind of doesn't feel like you're on a mountain. It sort of just feels like you're on a path, just in some normal woods. But every once in a while, there's a break in the trees on the side, and you get these amazing views of the city. Like this is the first one. Boom. It's so good. You can obviously see the overpass there. All right, so I'm just gonna show footage of the trail as I walk along it. Maybe the occasional little cool view that pops up on the sides of the mountain. But mainly you'll just be following this path for, I don't know, 45 minutes maybe. I'll check the time when I get to the end. And it's really great because like I was saying about those damn stairs, this is way more, I don't know, like gentle. Like this is definitely an easy hike. It's like you go up some, but then it flattens out and then you go down and you're just in the woods and it's beautiful and it's super awesome. So while I'm just showing you footage of the path before we get to the turnoff at the end that leads to the observation deck, let me just ramble a little bit about cheap Airbnbs, because I've really found that's like a great thing. That's how I find a lot of these weird places and have these weird experiences, is because I pretty much, when I go to a city, I'm mainly just concerned with a cheap Airbnb. You know, I like to try to stay longer, and it's not that important to me if my place is nice or not, you know? And basically what I've found is that bad Airbnbs kind of don't really exist. Like, I'm not saying it never happens, but almost never, you know? Like 99 times out of 100, everything's great. So if you're ever concerned about going to the bottom of the listings in Airbnb because you're afraid it won't be a nice place, I would say don't worry about it. Like, just check the reviews and stuff. But generally, cheap Airbnbs are not cheap because they aren't nice. They're cheap because they're not convenient. Whereas a more expensive Airbnb will definitely be more central, but I feel like there's just as good of a chance that it may not actually be that great of a place. And I'd really think there's huge benefits to being kind of off the beaten path. I mean, this is a perfect example. Umebayashi Station, you know, what the hell is that? I never would have come out here ever if I had gotten a place centrally in Fukuoka. And I'm surprised how often I find little benefits like this. You know, it's like I can still go see all the top 10 tourist stuff or whatever. I'm not going to miss out on anything. But you find these cool, weird things that normally people wouldn't see. And sometimes just the experience is kind of awesome. Like, I go for cheap Airbnbs, but I do tend to try to get, you know, like private rooms. But for Tokyo, you know, I was trying to keep things cheap. So for the first time, I decided to go for like hostel style. Like, let's see what we got if I'm like sharing a room with people. That's actually not even that common in North America. It's not even an option that really pops up all that much. But in Tokyo, I got this place that was a pretty good deal. And it turns out it was in a good location. It was only 4 stops away from Ikebukuro. And what was cool is when I arrived, it was like Golden Week, and it was this like hostel where there's like 10 bunks in one room. And it was nice, but it was busy, you know? It's like, I was like, oh, well, that's what it's gonna be, you know? That's how it is. You come to Japan, it's gonna be busy. But then what happened after Golden Week ended is the place just cleared out. It was way, way less busy than I expected. Where basically there'd be maybe 1 or 2 people on the weekends, but during the week it was literally just me. There was the room with 10 bunks on the top floor, I think a room with like 6 bunks on the bottom floor, and for days at a time it would just be me there. The staff didn't even swing by because there was no one new to check in, so they didn't need to. This is the middle of summer in Tokyo, and basically for like $27 a night I had a 2-story building all to myself, you know, within walking distance of Ikebukuro. It was really fucking weird and awesome. Like, to make that happen, you know, to actually try to set up that situation would be so expensive. You'd have to be the richest person in the world. But I ended up with it just by accident, just because I just went with the cheap option. And this cool thing happened, you know? I'm not quite sure how to explain it because the place was really nice, the staff was really friendly, all the reviews are good. It's just that even in a place like Tokyo, I guess it's just the weekend when stuff happens. Like during the week, it's just not that busy. And it was such a cool feeling to just like wake up in the morning. I got my whole building to myself, can decide which shower I want to use. I had one bathroom with the toilet seat up and one with the toilet seat down. So I just go to whichever bathroom I wanted at the time. It was just a cool experience that never would have happened if I didn't just go to the bottom of the barrel. Bottom of the barrel rules. It's like super cool. It's just fun. All right, coming to the end of the trail. It took me almost just under 40 minutes to get here, and I am not in fantastic shape, so your time might vary. But this is the one place where you kind of gotta be a little careful you don't miss the turnoff. It'll be pretty obvious because the trail really peters out. If you keep following the trail, it just kind of disappears. So you want to look for this big, you can't miss it. It's this big rock that just like funnels down. And it's not very high up, it's like it's a few feet down. But I'd say to be a little careful because this is just all rock, and I kind of tend to do a little crab walk when I go down just to be on the safe side, And you go down this rock and you'll see like a barrier here right away. It's real obvious where the place is. These little pink ribbons on the trees. And you follow this little path until you get to a paved road. So the first time I came up here, I was like, oh, paved road, right on. Okay, I'll do that. And I followed the paved road, and I wouldn't necessarily recommend that because it's really long. It's a really long, winding road that in like 90 minutes or so will get you back to civilization. And there's a couple of really good views. There's a couple of really nice shots of the city. But since we're right by an observation deck, I would recommend the observation deck instead. The other thing you can do, when I came up the next time, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to take the road again. What did I miss? So there's this little sign, 2.7 kilometers to the next branch in the trail. And this goes further up the mountain. And for like experienced mountaineers, after you've done the observation deck, if you want to come back up to this mountain, this is where you want to go, because this can go forever, And it's definitely steeper and goes higher, but I still have like old people walking their dogs go by me, and groups of like junior high students and stuff go by. None of it's that tough. But if you go up that side route and you hang a left, you'll circle around to this really nice shrine and then down to the road that connects to the observation deck. So that's an option for a slightly longer way to get there, and it is really pretty. If you stay right when you go up there, it just goes on and on. It goes on forever. I've been up there for hours. You just keep going through the mountain, and there's all these different paths, and some of them are more well-maintained than others. So that's the forever path. That's the let's just hike on the mountains all goddamn day. That's the path you want. But what I finally found my third time up here, is if you head back to where this paved road starts, there's a little turnoff to your left that I completely missed. Because I think people tend to probably start at the observation deck and come up this way. So this is really easy to walk past and to not see at all. So here we are, another sign. You'll see the 0.4 kilometers is the observation deck. 1.6 kilometers to go back where we came from. But right here where this road starts, where the paved part begins, you turn left and there's this little tiny path that's really easy to walk past, and you go down here, and this is the final stretch. This is just a nice easy walk downward through some more woods, and it's pretty nice in its own right. And then you'll come out at the end, finally, at the Aburayama Katae observation deck. And it's pretty awesome. There's a hot dog vendor guy if you're here at the right time of day. There's a drink machine. There's like dudes on their motorcycles hanging out smoking and being cool. And obviously there's the view. It's just like a really good view of Fukuoka. Way over on the left, just peeking out of the trees, is the Fukuoka Tower, just to sort of give a sense of what we're looking at. Then over toward the right is the airport, I'm pretty sure. So basically, there it is. Like, there's the whole city. And yeah, it's not that long of a hike. It's really cool and really fun. There is like a paved traditional path to get up here, which is what we'll take to get back down. But I wouldn't really recommend it because it's a little tough to get to. It's a much longer trek to get to than that tiny little walk from Umebayashi Station. And this one is just, it's a way better walk. It's way more fun. You might even want to just hike exactly back the way you came, which is a little tougher because it's downhill this time. A little steeper, a little more dangerous. But just pop out there, go back to 7-Eleven, and then hit Umebayashi Station. But yeah, this view, this is a pretty sweet view. And if you want to see what it looks like at night, here's some footage that my friend Brad took when we were up here at night. If you time out this hike properly, I mean, you can, you start this hike like an hour or so before sunset. It gets a little bit dark in this forest. But worst case scenario, just have the flashlight on your phone or whatever. It's not that bad. However, what there is at night are wild boars. So I don't know, maybe I shouldn't recommend that you come up here at night. Because, yeah, we got up here and there was this wild boar and its little baby boar were here. And they are not scared of people at all. And they stole my friend Brad's convenience store bag that had didn't actually have any food, just had a chip bag. But it nabbed it and ran off into the woods with it. And it was pretty big. It was a little bit scary, this thing. I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? So that's part of the experience that might happen if you're here at night. But okay, once you've soaked it in and you bought a drink and you had a hot dog and you're ready to get out of here, like I said, you can either go back on the same path you used to get here in the first place, which is not a bad call. But if you want an easier walk down, there's a paved walking path that goes all the way. Just to get to the path, you've got to walk down this street a little bit. There's this road that comes all the way up to the observation deck. If you've got a car or whatever, you can just come up here. It's no problem. So you follow this road around the first couple of turns. Just be a little careful since you're sharing the road with cars and motorcycles and stuff. It really feels like Initial D. You're just in the mountain pass with all the turns. But after you get a couple of turns down this road, there's this opening. Just this opening in the guardrail. It's a little easy to miss. It's a pretty small opening. But if you go a little further, around another corner, there's this French restaurant, Au Bout du Monde, that I never went to because it's crazy expensive. But if you see the French restaurant, you've gone too far. And just past the French restaurant is a public washroom if you need that. So yeah, if you see the French restaurant, just backtrack a little bit and look for the opening in the guardrail. And now it's just a long, winding, beautiful paved path all the way down to the ground, You did it. You did the hike. Now your reward is a nice, easy walk. And the only downside is that this path kind of spits you out in the middle of nowhere. Kind of everywhere you come off this mountain. I've come off 3 or 4 different places, and they're all sort of far from anything. This particular path, the only thing Google Maps shows near here is Hakata Technical High School. That's the most notable landmark. So this is kind of the price you pay for this awesome hike that is real easy to get to the start of from Umebayashi Station. But at the end, you got to walk for 40 minutes just through, it's fine. It's just a little neighborhood. It's fine. It's like, hey, here you go. The suburbs of Fukuoka. It's not great, but it's not the worst. And that's it. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you happen to come do this little hike, leave a comment, let me know, because I thought this was so cool. And again, just complete happenstance. Just the fact that I was like, all right, what's the cheapest Airbnb so I can go visit my friend? Yeah, okay, I'll take that one. And I had no idea what to expect. I'd never been to Fukuoka. And just to look out my window and be like, whoa, the mountains are right there. I wonder if I can go to there. And then I did, and it was better than I expected it to be. It's amazing. Not only are the mountains beautiful, it's easy to get to this observation deck where you can just buy a drink. You're only out of civilization for an hour. It's the perfect beginner's hike. So I hope that was handy. I hope you enjoyed that. If you're in Fukuoka, it's worth going to see that big Buddha too, the big reclining Buddha. But hey, that's a different story for a different day. That's easy to find out information about. It's very famous, but it's worth it. It's good. You can do hikes around there too. After you leave the Buddha, you can go up the mountain. You feel like you're in Uncharted or something. You gotta sneak under rocks and climb up stuff, and it's awesome. So all right, thanks again for watching. Adios.